My hair is up today and it is just weird for me, so we're gonna deal with it. Hey guys, it's Hannah, and today I'm coming to you with a book review for a book that I am very excited to talk to you guys about, and that is Nora and Kettle by Lauren Nicolle Taylor. I was sent a copy of this book by the publisher Clean Teen Publishing as a part of BookTube tours, which, if you didn't know, is kind of like blog tours, and it's being hosted by Grace over on Loving Them Books, who is wonderful, so you should definitely go check her out. So I'm one of the hosts for BookTube tours, and currently one of the books that is going around for us hosts is Nora and Kettle here, and today I'm going to be doing a review of it for you guys, but make sure that you stay tuned until the end of the video because there is a very exciting giveaway that I get to announce with this book. So even though I was sent this book for review, all opinions are still 100% honest and 100% my own. So without any further ado, let's get into the review. So Nora and Kettle is a YA historical fiction novel that is loosely, and I say loosely, based off of Peter Pan. So I wouldn't go so far as to call this a retelling. It has some kind of aspects of Peter Pan mixed into it, and having read Peter Pan for the first time last year, it was kind of more fresh in my mind, so I definitely caught some of those, but it is by no means a direct retelling. The story is set in the US in 1953, and it follows the aftermath of Japanese internment. The story follows the perspective of two different characters. One character is named Nora, and she is a white, upper middle class girl who's 18 years old who lives in the brownstones in the wealthier area with her family and her father, who is a civil rights lawyer. However, she lives in a very abusive family and her father is extremely abusive, and at the beginning of the book there's a tragedy that happens and she has to deal with that whole tragedy throughout the book, and the majority of the story follows her trying to take care of her sister and deal with the outcome of what has happened in her life. The other perspective that this story follows is that of a Japanese-American boy whose name is Kettle, and he's 17 years old, and he is homeless. He lives with a bunch of other boys, and they're called the Lost Children, kind of like the Lost Boys from Peter Pan, if you see that there. But I'm pretty sure Lost Children was actually a term that was used for these children post-Japanese internment who had run away from the homes that they'd been forced into after they had left the camps. But these boys have found each other and live together, and Kettle does his best to provide for them. Nora and Kettle's stories begin to slightly intertwine at the beginning of the book, and they run into each other every once in a while, but they don't really know who the other person is until the last half of this book, where their stories finally come together and they actually meet, and then they go on their very own adventure. That pretty much covers a summary of this book, but I would also put a disclaimer on this book because it does deal with some very serious issues, and it is very difficult to read at times because it deals with domestic violence and child abuse and racism and prejudice and a lot of difficult topics. So if you are not comfortable reading that type of thing, then I would definitely give you that warning just so you're aware of it, because I think that that's important. So now I'm going to go into some of my own personal thoughts and opinions on the book. First off, I just want to say that I absolutely adored this book. This book took me completely by surprise. When I first read the summary, I expected to enjoy it because it sounded extremely interesting, but once I started reading it, honestly, like chapter 2, I was sucked in immediately because the writing is just so good. Like I mentioned before, this is a YA historical fiction novel, but the writing is so lyrical and beautiful that it honestly kind of feels like magical realism. There's absolutely no magic in this book whatsoever, but it has that sort of quality to it that you kind of question how this world could even exist without magic in it. I really can't explain it, but I guess that I would compare the writing in this a little bit to Ava Lavender. That one I would say is definitely more lyrical. If you've read it, you will know what her writing is like. It's very beautiful, it's very lyrical, but that definitely has magic in it. Whereas this book doesn't have any magic in it, but it still has that lyrical quality to it, so it almost feels like it should have magic, and I just loved that. I ate it up. The other thing that I really loved about this book was just the plot in general. Like I said, it's loosely based off of Peter Pan, so it has some of those elements to it. You can tell that Kettle is supposed to be like Peter, and Nora is supposed to be like Wendy, but the two of them really are nothing like those characters at all. But the plot was just so wonderful. This book dealt with the issue of racism in that time in such an eloquent way. I thought it was dealt with so well, and it tackled the topic in a way that was respectful. Kettle's race wasn't romanticized in any sort of way, and I really appreciated that in this book. Also, after finishing the book, I looked at the cover and realized that it says that it's a Paper Stars novel, which means that it's a series. So this is the first book in the series, and I'm so excited because it means there's more. Like, this definitely left off in a place that has an open ending, so it's open for the story to continue, but I'm so excited for more. I loved this so much. The other thing I really loved about this book was the characters. They were so absolutely real and just so well developed, and neither of them were stereotyped in any sort of way, and they grew together and grew independently. Like, the character development in this book was just crazy good. Nora is a wonderful female character who has faced a lot of struggles in her life and has dealt with a lot in her life, yet she's still strong even at times when she's weak. Even when she was torn down, when she was at her weakest, she was still a fantastic character. Kettle was also the same. He was not stereotyped or fetishized in any sort of way because of his race. He was a very dynamic character, a very, very interesting character. I loved him so much. Honestly, one of my new favorite characters. And then the relationships in this book were also fantastic. Nora's relationship with her dad is a very significant one that she deals with throughout the entire book and has to overcome. And then she also has her relationship with her sister, which is just so loving and caring and beautiful, and I really loved how that was focused upon in here. Kettle also has his relationship with Kin, who is like his adoptive brother, but really just his super close friend, and it was great to see their relationship because it was wonderful to have a male friendship in this as well that was just so honest and so heartfelt. And then, of course, there's Nora and Kettle's relationship, which I ship them so hard after the end of this book, and oh my god, I cannot wait for the series to continue. I cannot wait. So overall, obviously, I loved this book so much. I gave it a 5 out of 5 stars. So I would say that this is a great mix for someone who likes the kind of lyrical writing of magical realism, but also just the light, even though this is a heavier story, but kind of light quality that a contemporary story might have, then this is definitely the book for you. So like I mentioned at the beginning of this video, there is a giveaway that's being hosted with this as well. Clean Teen Publishing is giving away this exciting mystery box full of bookish swag. So to enter the giveaway, all you have to do is click on the link in the description box and it will take you through all of the instructions on how to enter. Also, if you end up purchasing a copy of Nora and Kettle for yourself, whether online or in a bookstore, and you email your receipt to Grace's email, which I will leave linked in the description as well, then you get 5 extra entries into the giveaway. So if you do decide to buy the book, definitely make sure to do that because 5 more entries is a significant amount. So overall, I thoroughly enjoyed this book. I loved the writing, I loved the characters, I loved the plot and the setting and everything about it. Really, I was so blown away by this book, and I honestly am not over it yet, and I cannot wait for the next books in the series. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you in my next video. Bye! I love rereading it because every single time I reread this book, I notice something different, and it brings new meaning to the entire work.